What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the early prelims, UFC 250. Then we're going to be talking about the normal prelims, and then we're going to be looking at the main card. I'm going to cover all of these fights individually to give you guys a little fight prediction, also in terms of the odds. So if you're interested in seeing the fights to come, also what's going to happen on the main card, we got a lot of beautiful fights. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you can be alerted when I post. And so hopefully you guys can get a general little fight prediction ahead of the fights, a bit more information on the fighters so you could maybe have a better idea as to who could potentially win the fights. Okay, that said, let's get into the early prelim, the fight between Jussier Formiga versus Alex Perez. Now, these two fighters are in the flyweight division. I think it's a very good matchup. They have very balanced records, which is always extremely interesting to see because it could go either way. But I'm going to give you guys the odds right now. Alex Perez seems to be the favorite at -137, while Formiga is at +110. So we have the favorite, we have the underdog. So let's start with the underdog, Jussier Formiga. So straight off the bat, he has one of the most interesting records that I've seen. He sits at 23 wins, 7 losses. But of those 23 wins, 10 have come from submission. So this is a pretty large percentage. And then 13 have come from a decision. So he's never knocked anyone out, which is quite interesting. Formiga is also a very talented grappler and wrestler, and most importantly, he's also a fighter that, as the record shows, he's going to be willing to go the distance. He's going to be willing to go to those deep waters and go all the way. He also hasn't won a fight, however, since March 2019, and he is coming ahead of UFC 250 with 2 straight losses against Joseph Benavidez and Brandon Moreno, respectively. So the 7 losses of Formiga, 3 of them have come from knockout or technical knockout, which could be a little worrying considering Alex Perez's resume. And so now we're going to be moving on to Alex Perez. He's got a record of 23 wins, 5 losses. Again, very balanced record, these two fighters. And it's a very respectable one, as we've seen. However, what needs to be considered about Alex Perez is that he's won 4 of those 23 wins via knockout, technical knockout, 7 via submission, 12 via decision. So this is a fight where you have 2 fighters who've won the majority of their fights via unanimous decision. So these guys are these are 2 guys that have got a gas tank on them. So that's the reason why, just looking purely at those statistics, I'm thinking that this fight is going to go the distance. Personally, if I was Alex Perez, I would walk into this fight knowing that Formiga is a formidable grappler. So I try to keep this fight on the feet as much as possible. And so this is also important because of those 5 losses by Alex Perez, 3 have come from submission. So we're dealing with a little fragile piece of his fight game. So Alex Perez is coming into UFC 250 with 2 wins against Jordan Espinoza and Mark De La Rosa. And so he's also on a hot streak, which also needs to be considered because, as we said before, Formiga, on the other hand, he's coming in from 2 straight losses. So again, if we want to look at the psychological aspect, we just saw Tyron Woodley. You know, he was coming back from a fight against Kamaru Usman in March 2019, and people were like, no, but he's going to bounce back. He's going to bounce back. That's what I wished for personally. But then again, that psychological aspect, coming back from a loss, makes it a little more difficult than, you know, if you're just coming in from 2 wins. Overall, what do I think? I believe that if Formiga really wants to take this fight home, he'll have to go the distance or try to catch Perez off guard with some form of submission. Because considering that 3 of his 5 losses have come from submission, that's where Formiga's got to capitalize here. On the other hand, however, if Formiga isn't able to protect his guards at all times, we know that a fighter like Alex Perez is going to potentially knock him out. And so I believe that because of the striking ability of Alex Perez, this could potentially grant him that competitive edge against Formiga. And assuming the fact that he can protect Formiga from putting him into any form of chokehold or any form of submission, I think that Perez could potentially win this fight via a decision. I don't think that this fight is going to be ended before the final decision. I think these 2 guys are renowned for taking those fights to the extra mile. But if it were to end before the unanimous decision call, I think it's going to end via definitely via submission. But personally, I think that Alex Perez is going to win this fight. But that's just my opinion. I'm interested to know what you guys think. Do you guys think Formiga is going to win? Do you guys think Alex Perez is going to win? Their records are extremely balanced. So like whatever I say could potentially, you know, could easily be opposed with a different argument because, again, these 2 records are completely almost similar. But yeah, again, so these were just the early prelims. If you guys want the prelims and the main card, just subscribe to the channel because those ones will come out tomorrow. And yeah, if you do subscribe and I see you guys in the next one, then I'll see you guys in the next one.